Good morning. Sorry about the low lighting, but I can't be bothered to turn the big light on. It's now, when is it? What is it? Oh, it's the 1st of November. Happy 1st of November. Well, it's not 1st of November when you're watching this. You know, I woke up this morning forgetting my little vacuum problems, and then I suddenly realised, oh, part of me thought just accept it, box it back up, put it down to experience. Vax wanted me to phone, you know, they wanted to speak to me. I didn't want to speak to them. There's no need. I'll tell you what they said. I don't know if I'm being not paranoid, unreasonable. I'm going to read you what they said to me, and then I will interpret what I think they were getting at. I could be wrong. I'd love to know your comments. This is turning into a saga I wasn't expecting to do. So I'm just writing a response, actually. And things have progressed. So somebody has come out a winner, customer service wise, and the others come out, well, obviously not a winner, and they've made a mistake. They've made a bit of a mistake. Right, so I'll just get my emails up because I'm in the middle of an email on my iPad and I don't want to disrupt. If I come out of it, I'll lose everything I've typed, and I don't want to do that. Here we go. I have to put my glasses on, folks, to read what I was told. So obviously, the first thing I did when I opened that vacuum was to contact Vax. And people might remember this. Often you see on the box, and Vax certainly did this. There's a big label on the box or printed on the box saying, "Do not take back to the shop. If you have a problem, phone this number." So on that premise, well, I couldn't take it back to the shop because Very isn't a shop, it's an online retailer. And I had passed the 28-day return limit. So had I opened the vacuum within the 28 days, I'd have seen, well, even if I had opened it within the 28 days, I would have seen that the 2 batteries were missing. I would have, I probably still would have contacted Vax, actually, because I wanted to keep the vacuum. I didn't want to return the whole vacuum for the sake of 2 batteries. So I still would have telephoned Vax and asked about that, and they would have come back with the response I got, send it back. And so I would have done with no trouble, and I wouldn't have bought another one. And this is what's going to happen. Anyway, I got a letter from John Paul, Contact Centre Team Manager. No idea where the Vax...
Here is some results.
Oh, shut your face. I'm not asking you anything. I didn't even say that name, did I? I'm not going to say it because... Hello, Roger. Thank you for taking the time to contact us. I'm so sorry to hear that you have encountered an issue with the order and remain unhappy with the service from us. Pardon me, I've got a bit of... Oh. Oh, sorry about that. I've got a bit of... It's not acid reflux, it's the oregano oil capsules. Now, they're very good. I take them every day, one every day. But they can sort of start repeating and coming back. The thing I should be doing, and I found in the past, is I should take it before a big meal. Or normally take it 10 minutes before I eat anything with a big glass of water and then eat a meal, and then I don't get that problem. But I just took it with some toast and peanut butter and coffee at breakfast. So there wasn't enough food to push it down to stop it coming back. So I'm okay, folks. Right. Right. Let's get back. Hello, Roger. Thank you for the time. Thanks for taking the time to contact us. I'm sorry to hear that you have encountered an issue with the order and remain unhappy with the service from us. To clarify, all boxed products from us directly are weighed before leaving our manufacturer line, making it somewhat concerning that the item delivered over 2 months ago from the third-party retailer is missing the batteries. we would suggest that if purchasing from any retailer, to check the contents with the returns period. That got my back up. I'm not a normal consumer, am I? I bought this vacuum, it was on offer. I bought it at the offer price in order to show on my channel. I don't unbox stuff straight away, and I didn't if I buy something from eBay that's second hand, tend to unbox that pretty quick normally. Sometimes I don't, but normally I do in case there's something wrong. When I buy stuff from a retailer, and Very is a reputable retailer, and I see that the box is intact, factory sealed. Is it in here? Well, I've got the box here because I was there, just behind me. Completely factory sealed, I'm sure it is. Okay, there was no signs on the box. Well, anyway, I'm pretty sure that's factory sealed. But basically, it's my fault, really, for not opening it in time and buying it from a third-party retailer instead of direct from Vax. Naughty boy. Whew. Right. The batteries would have been internally packaged and released to the market based on weight clearance from our factory. This could mean that the goods you have received have been tampered with in some way, which may be of concern to the quality of the item. Well, don't worry, the quality of the item hasn't been affected. It's still shite. And also the safety also. So they're concerned that I've received a returned item that could be unsafe. This is what they're saying. Originally, we would advise to return the item to the retailer if within 28 days, as the contract of sale lies with them. However, in this instance, as we are out of the initial 28 days, I would personally like to resolve this issue for you. I would prefer to speak to you in person. Well, not in person. He's coming round here. Speaking to someone in person isn't on the phone, is it? I think when you speak to someone in person, you're face to face. Or am I getting that wrong? Perhaps I am, I don't know. Be a millennial speaking to me. Apologies to any millennials watching. I'm sure some of you are okay. Right, so he wants to he wants to speak to me in person to explain the next steps in more clarity and offer my apologies for any confusion with where the responsibility lies for the missing items, as we here at Vax are just as confused to how this has happened. I also require some further details from the product and also the receipt to validate the purchase, i.e. prove you've got it, prove you paid for it, prove it's yours, prove you didn't nick it, prove it didn't come via the back of a lorry. Which of course I do have. Where it's under the tripod, I do have my thing. And so it also wants to activate the warranty. Well, there's no warranty needing activating. So they did reach out to me eventually after I kicked off. You know, I don't often do this and I feel awkward doing it, but anyone can do it. It's not just an, you know, some would consider me as an influencer. I hate that term. I don't consider myself as an influencer. I might influence some people, but that's not what I set out to do, okay? If I've influenced someone to buy a vacuum and they've been really happy with it, that's fine, but I might have influenced someone to buy a vacuum and they've hated it. So I try to step away from that whole thing. I can just give my opinion on anything, you know, a vacuum or anything. I give my opinions on other things on this channel. It's my opinion. And so you know, it's very awkward when people just want one vacuum they should buy or one washing machine or whatever. You know, I don't want that responsibility. So I'm not an influencer. I don't accept loads of freebies. And I think the days, to be honest, I think the days of influencers are numbered. You know, I got a bit of grief off an influencer on Instagram with, you know, a load more followers on Instagram than I've got, but I don't expect this person's got a YouTube channel with as many subscribers as I have. You know, my main channel, I think it's nearly 129,000 on my main channel. So yes, I suppose I could be classed as an influencer, but I thought, well, I'll use that. But anyone can do it. If you don't get joy contacting customer service privately, go public with it. Go on Facebook, go on Instagram, go on Twitter, go on whatever, and just, I've done that in the past and I found that got results. So I did that in this instance. I went on Instagram and went on Facebook as well and said how appalled I was by the service. And that's the only reason I think why I was dealt with, because if I just left it at the response I was given when I did the online help, if I just accepted that and didn't put the story on my Instagram, I don't think Vax would have contacted me to sort it out. And it's only because, I've got influence, I suppose, that they wanted to sort it. But it's too late now for me. I think I might have said yesterday, all they needed to do was just apologise and send the batteries, no questions. If they, I understand that there may be some people trying it on to get some extra batteries. I'm sure it happens all the time. I know in the past people used to return stuff to stores and put a brick in it, instead of a camera or whatever, and I'm sure that happened in Argos, where people returned stuff and they weren't checked properly, and then when the boxes opened it was full of rubble or full of, or had an old appliance in it. They might have brought back a new vacuum, put their old one in, returned it saying it doesn't work. And if it's not checked, and a lot of retailers don't have time to check everything, so that has happened. So I can understand why manufacturers and retailers are a bit wary. But I'm as honest as the day is long, and you'll see, if you see the video when I'm unboxing it, I'm not that good an actor. You can see how, I was really holding it in, but even my face was going red, but I was holding it in. I didn't want to have a hissy fit on the channel. So I was, but when I watched it back on the telly last night after I'd finished it, and I could see, I thought, bloody hell, you're about to blow, Rog. And not in a good way. So anyway, it's still getting me wound up because, I hate it. Normally I don't complain. I had to go through the returns process. I don't think I've hardly ever returned things, especially from Very. I only returned a couple of items once when they sent me, I think I ordered a sander, electric sander, and they sent me some pink child's leggings. So I did return those, and I put that up on my, I think that's on my Instagram or Facebook. It was quite a while ago. I put a picture of me trying to wear these pink child's leggings and said, I ordered this Bosch sander, this is what I got. So I did return. It was a small item, easy to return. But normally I don't, I haven't had any experience of returning big stuff, so I had to find out how to do it. So I'm not someone who returns a lot of stuff. And because a lot of the time I just think, if I'm not, especially clothes, if, it doesn't fit, I know it sounds really extravagant, but I just give it to a charity shop. Because I just can't be bothered with the hassle. If it's an expensive item, like this vacuum, I'd say it's expensive, then yes, then I will do something about it. But a cheaper item, I'll just give it to charity shop. Anyway, so, getting all wound up. So I've started writing to this John Paul a response to that letter. And I've put, hello, friendly, hello. And it put, hello, John Paul. I just put hello. He called me Roger. Hello, Roger. So I just put hello. Right, so this is what's happened. I have sorted a return from Very, who will be collecting the vacuum tomorrow. So I did ring Very. It was obviously not based in the UK, but clearly the gentleman speaking to me, English wasn't his first language, and I had to repeat a lot of stuff and spell things out. But he was very helpful, I'll give him that, and I explained everything. He suggested I went to Vax to get the batteries. I said, well, I did try that, and then they said, go back to the retailer. So anyway, back and forth. So the upshot is, cut a long story short, that vacuum, it's not in the box, but that's going to be packed up in the box, put my return note on it, and they'll be collecting it Yodel will be collecting it tomorrow from this address. Job done, refund. That's fine. So it's been sorted now. Okay, so I'm not... that was my vacuum of the month. So I'm going to have to go up in my mum's loft and choose another one and make another vacuum of the month video to put up tomorrow and say, and I'll give them the whole saga. This is what's happened. I might even read out that letter. So it's being returned. Good. So I feel a bit better about that. I'll feel even better when it's gone and I get my money back. So I've put, just to let you know, I have unboxed hundreds of new vacuum cleaners and I would have noticed if the box had been opened previously. The Vax I opened and filmed for my YouTube channel was clearly a factory sealed model with no signs that it had a previous label on the outer box. So I think I can rule out I was sent a model that had been returned. The video of me unboxing the vacuum, discovering the missing batteries, will be on my YouTube channel, iBasic, at 7 PM UK time, with the unboxing part starting at 18:21. That's the timestamp because it was vacuum of the month, so the first part was me talking about last month's vacuum. I realise that it is the retailer's responsibility to deal with complaints, and had I opened the vacuum within the 28-day return period, I could have returned it easily, but I just wanted the batteries that were missing and not have to go to the trouble of returning the vacuum, which is why I contacted Vax in the first place. And this is where I'm a bit iffy about, should I put this? I haven't sent this yet. I have the largest UK-based YouTube channel showcasing mainly floor care products with a subscriber count of nearly 129,000. But after this experience, I am unlikely to feature a Vax product again, unless of course it's a vintage machines from the days your company manufactured in the UK. Do you think that's a bit, you know? It comes across to me as, do you know who I am? I mean, I'm nothing. I know I'm nothing. Well, I'm not nothing. I am something. I am flesh and bone. I have a soul, a heart beating. But I have to blow my own trumpet. I haven't finished the letter, but it's just. It could have been dealt with so much more efficiently and effectively and easily. As I said, they could have just apologised. If they knew who I was, I'm not some chancer. They could see that I had a following on Instagram, and I'm sure they know my channel because I've featured lots of their products. In fact, I've had one item from them for free. Yeah, I'm sure it was one, a Vax air cordless, when my channel was small, and I was grateful for that at the time. Did a video on it. But since then, it's years and years ago, I've not had anything from them. I bought their products, and on the whole, I would have been very fair about them. Plus and minus points. I've bought them all myself. They've had all that free publicity for me. They didn't even have to give me a product, and now they've blown it with what's happened here, because I mean, they're not Vax have gone really downhill anyway. They're not very good, so I don't think it's going to be much of a loss, but the thing is, it's a popular brand in the UK, and then you've got to balance, well, if I don't feature them. Ooh, what's this? Is this John Paul? It's not, it's Lego. Thought it would be John Paul. He rang my home. I don't know where they got that phone number from. Mark texted me and said, oh, someone from Vax customer service wants to get in touch. So I've no idea where they got that phone number from. I'm a bit annoyed by that. My landline, they got. I'm not sure. I don't know whether to put that last. I'm umming and ahhing about that. I think I won't put that bit at the end. It does sound a bit pious. I don't want to come across as, I do feel a bit like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman when she goes into the shop looking like a whore, as well, she was a whore, trying to buy some posh clothes, and the women in there look down their noses at her and say, we don't have anything for you, go away. And then after she goes to a place that do accommodate her, and she's all dressed in her finery with lots of expensive bags from designer stores, you know. Walks in, looking round, and they're all ready to help her now. She looks posh, looks like she's got a bit of moolah. And then she says, "You work on commission." You'll know it if you've seen it. "You work on commission, don't you?" I don't know if she sounds like that. And they said, "Oh, yes." Big mistake. Huge. I've got to go now groom shopping. So that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. You've made a big mistake. But then that sounds, no, I'm sure they'll still survive without me showing their products on my channel. So I don't have that, you know, I'm not stupid enough to think that me not showing their products is going to be the downfall of Vax and their Hong Kong based owners, TTI, who also own Hoover in the USA, Ryobi, Dirt Devil, other power tool brands, you know, big company. They couldn't give one hoot about a YouTuber not showing their stuff. So I'm having to think, am I cutting my nose off despite my face? And I've done that many times. So I think I won't put that line, actually. I won't say that, but I'm certainly not going to be in a rush to buy anything from Vax again. And I wonder if I'll get any response from this letter. But, well, you know, it's been sorted. So I'm going to big up Very for actually sorting it. I think when I told them, they asked what my credit, to verify who I was, they asked some details. And they asked what my credit limit was on Very, and I had no idea, so I had to go and look. So I told him. And then I think when they saw what credit limit I had, probably thought, well, he must be a good customer, let's look after him. My credit limit on Very is £10,000 because obviously I've had the account a long, long time and it's always been kept up to date, always been cleared. And so I'm a very good customer of Very, only because I still get my colleague discount. That's why I buy so much, because of the discount. So, yeah, oh dear, still all wound up about it. I could just let it go, but I've got to respond to this John Paul anyway. And I will post a picture of that boxed up on my Instagram and say it's been sorted. Very accepting turn. Big thumbs up for Very for allowing me to return the item after the you know, 28-day approval period. So it's a thumb up for Very and a thumb down for Vax. Right, so I'll just finish this letter. I don't know what I'll finish it with, but just say I've been very disappointed with the service. All this could have been solved by just sending me the batteries, just really quickly, but no. Right, well, I best crack on, folks, because it's my last full day at home before Manny comes back. But you know, she's back Wednesday afternoon about 2ish, so I do have Wednesday morning. But I'll probably spend Wednesday morning cleaning. But I do need the house tidy. Well, certainly her bedroom. My bedroom will have some boxes in and stuff, but pardon me, it's the oregano's coming back. I'm going to have some more water. So I've got a vacuum video to finish. That should just take half an hour tops to finish that off. So that's one in the bag, and then hopefully I'll finish the Shark Stratos video today. So if I can do that, finish the vacuum that's just behind me, finish the Shark Stratos, unbox the Hoover Constellation that arrived tomorrow, tidy up, then that will be a successful day. Just got to box up the Vax in the box, put all that back and seal it up so that's ready. I'll put it in the downstairs loo, not in the loo, in the loo area, the cloakroom, ready for them to, hopefully they'll collect it tomorrow. And then that's sorted. But the dogs have been a right pain recently. Just yet last night especially, because I was hiding, you know, you saw I was hiding in here. I didn't have anyone knocking on the door. It looked like there was no one in. I think I ventured out about 9:30ish. I went in the living room, closed the blinds, just had the telly on, I didn't put the light on. But I wasn't bothered, so I'm glad that's all over for another year. I know some of you might like all the Halloween stuff. It's just not my cup of tea. Just don't agree with it, any part of it. So I'm just glad that it's all finished. I've been speaking for a long time just over this vacuum thing, but anyway, lesson learnt, Rog. Even if you don't want to open the vacuum yet, best to probably open it within the 28-day period. So I'm very bad for not doing that. I'm very bad for having lots of vacuums to open and not doing it in the correct time frame. Let me just think. Oh, I've got a few. Still got some. Well, they're way past the 28 days. I can think of a few now that I've got that I haven't opened yet. So there's nothing I can do about it, really. So chalk this one down to experience, Rog, I think. Okay, I best get cracked on, get some stuff done. Well, it's only 20 to 10, so I've not done bad. I did get up fairly early. So I'll see you a bit later on today in the vlog. Oh, hello, it's you again. Oh, my mum's due home this afternoon, so I'm trying to eliminate all evidence of the orgies and wild parties I've been having. Trying to get rid of all the drink stains and the cigarette burns and all the bodily fluids that have been spilt during the week I've had my mum's house to myself. Obviously not. Yes, but I do want to have it a bit tidier well, it will be tidy and cleaner. In fact, I've been finding dust and dirt that hasn't been shifted in a long time. Although, you know, I'm not mocking my mum. I'm sure she keeps a clean home. But there are areas in anyone's home that if you can't see it, you don't clean it. And I've just cleaned the downstairs loo and a load of dust and stuff right round the back. I mean, you know, it's quite a tight fit to get this. There was some dust anyway because of the sink being fitted, so some of those tiles had been cut, so there was dust on the top of the toilet. So I've cleaned all that and the windowsill, but I've gone round in all sorts of areas. Excuse my conk. I don't know what it is about my nose. If I don't put on twice a day tea tree cream or just something for spots, then it just erupts. You know, I'm not a teenager anymore. I didn't get many spots, fortunately. As a teenager, you remember at school, you used to see these kids that were absolutely covered in spots. And I never got that. I just tended to get one, but it was a biggie, you know. Just get one occasionally on the face. Didn't really seem to get acne on my body, just on the face. I don't care if it's anywhere else. I don't care a spotty bottom. Who's looking at that? But it's always, you know, as an adult, it's on the nose. So I'm going to have to look up again, see what else I can try. Maybe internally. I'm thinking iodine, actually. I do take an iodine. I do take an iodine capsule a day. But I might get some oil. Luigi's, is it? Lugol's, not Luigi's. Is it Lugol's? Something like that. Begins with L. Quite a famous brand for iodine drops. Maybe just put some of that on my nose every night and see if that keeps, you know, clears it up and keeps it clear. I've just had a face pack on, but that often brings it out more. And I think that's what happened. I've had 2 face masks because I'm trying to use up my Lush stuff. And it's the blue one. It's got a bit of lemon juice in it. Don't look at me, that's the one. You keep it in the fridge because it's supposed to be fresh. It's quite refreshing because obviously when you're putting this on your face, it's out of the fridge, so it's cold. So it's a bit of a wake up call. But I did one of those earlier in the week and I've just done another just to finish the pot because I'm trying to use up all my Lush stuff at the moment so I can take back all the empties because I'm you know, pausing Lush, can't afford to keep buying Lush. I mean, I stopped doing that subscription box. So I'm just saving up all my empties and then I'll trade them in for a couple more face packs or something. And I'm not going to be buying other Lush stuff because I've got too many toiletries to use up. So I won't be buying from Lush for a while. So anyway, I've used it up and washed out the empty doodah ready to take to the shop at some point when I can find a Lush shop. So yes, I've just realised I shouldn't be dusting because I've got a job in here to, well, a job that's going to involve making a bit more dust in this room. I don't know if there's going to be much. I might have done it previously, but I've got another vacuum cleaner out, a vintage machine that I'm now using as my vacuum of the month. And it has, unusually, a blowing function. And a blowing function is very useful for blowing out dirt from areas that the suction can't possibly reach. And in my case, I'm going to use the blowing function to blow behind my mum's radiator here in the living room, and we'll just see if there's a load of stuff. I know I have done it at some point, so there shouldn't be loads, but it'd be interesting to see if anything gets blown out. This is the cleaner I'm using instead of the Vax that was delivered without the batteries. And I'd forgotten that this machine had a blowing function, and I thought, oh, that's fantastic. Also, there's a lot of areas in my mum's house that could do with a bit of a spring clean. Look, I'm not, you know, as I'm saying, the house always looks clean, but there's areas my mum doesn't really go, you know, with a vacuum, so it's time to have a bit of a blow. So I've attached the hose to the blowing outlet, and then in conjunction with the crevice nozzle, that's going to really force a lot of air out of there. Ideal for blowing. So let's try it. Well, there is some dust in the air now, but mostly what it seemed to blow out was flakes of paint. But yes, it certainly cleaned whatever dust and debris was behind the radiator. So now I've got to connect the hose to the suction inlet and then vacuum up all the mess that the Miele has blown out from behind the radiator. Fluff. So that was a quick job, but well worth doing, and I'm sure there's many other blow jobs I can find to do around my mum's house. All the radiators can be done, and also blew all the dust off an artificial flower she had in the downstairs cloakroom, so it was useful for that as well.